I will try to explain you a vine. For vines, you have the roots, and you have the feet, and you have the head. And the head of the vine is called apex, A-P-E-X. And that part, it's the first part which grow when the vines at springtime. In this area, like in a lot of area, for the ices, of course the vines are beautiful because they are completely straight and well cut, so it's wonderful. But it's crazy if you consider the vines, because you cut the head of the vine. And if you cut the head of the vines will lose a cycle, her own cycle. If you keep that apex, the head of the vines, in July, in this area, I speak only for this area, I suppose it's not the same for the other, for example in Burgundy or in Bordeaux, I don't know for that area. But here, I can tell you that that part of the plant stop to grow at mid of July. Why? Because leaves are installed, flowering is finished, grapes are at a good place. Now it's not a question to continue to grow, it's a question to feed the grapes, to have the maturity on time for the harvest. But if you cut that part, if you cut the head of the vines receive the information, push, grow again, and the vine continue to produce small leaves. And you can see in summertime a pale green leaves. Imagine that new leaves needs what? Needs water. And during the time where the vines feed the new leaves, the vine don't feed the grapes. And you could have a problem with the maturity in September. I think, and why we work like that? Because we wanted to keep enough leaves to have a better photosynthesis. And because we didn't cut, and we don't cut, the head of the vines. So the vine finds its own rules, its own cycle by itself.
Because many people would say that having this much branches and this much leaves would take away the energy from the or the flavors and nutriments from the grapes to some extent, because you spend too much energy on the leaves.
Are you sure?
No, so many people. No, I'm not sure. I'm just. Many people would say so.
Oui.
But the way you explain it is different.
I explain that.
Yes.
I agree with that principles. If your vines continue to produce and to make leaves, but if your vine at a very hot period of time for this area, and when your grapes are installed, stop to produce leaves. The sap continue to feed, but not the leaves, the grapes, because the grapes need to be fed. You know what I mean? So it's just a question of logical again. But if you cut to have a very beautiful row, completely straight on, you can, but you give the information, continue to grow. And of course the vine continue to grow, continue to produce some leaves, but the leaves need water, so the plant feeds the leaves. But when you are in July and August, you need just sun with a good photosynthesis into the leaves to have the maturity into your grapes. That's it. And your water must use carefully for your grapes. Your leaves need water, but not in so many quantity because they are installed. And what I can tell you, in 2003 we had the normal yield of grapes, even it was a hot temperature. We didn't lose our leaves. They continued their photosynthesis. And the tannins, of course, we started the harvest in August, at the end of August, maybe 23 of August. But the result, the tannins was ripe. In 2003, the vintage, people, when you speak with them, or maybe you know that the 2003 vintage from this area is very dry and the tannins are very strong and difficult. You move your mouth a lot because you have too much tannins. Why? Because the tannins weren't ripe. But here they were ripe. And we had enough acidity. Why? Because no stress for the vines. But we sprayed as well a tisane with chamomile to prevent the stress of the water, the heat temperature. Because chamomile, it's a tisane of chamomile, it's an help for the plant, for the vines. As well, we don't keep weeds into our row. So no competition with the year as 2003 between the vines and the weeds. So when you see all the vines with weeds or beautiful grass, why not? It depends on each plot.
How do you eliminate the weed?
We work the soil.
Okay.
With the machine.
You plow it.
We plow,
Yeah.
exactly. We plow it, yes.
Okay.
In some plots, we can keep leaves, grass, but like here, we can't leave the grass because we have a competition between vines and grass. So it's not good for the vines because, and maybe it's one of the reasons the vines lose the minerals, lose everything because it's put into the grass. So when you see a green grass in summer in this area, it's stupid. But it's another concept, I think, of way to farm. It's just a question of logic, how it's the best for your plot, and each plot is different. It depends on the exposure, it depends on the variety. So you must adapt your way to farm. Is it clear?